Just 1 hour ago, BlackRock sent over $134 million worth of Bitcoin into Coinbase. If they will sell, there is $1.30 billion worth of long positions at risk of being liquidated. What's gonna happen next? Let's analyze. Hello ladies and gentlemen of the Paradise Club, this is Simon from Crypto Paradise. Today is Monday, welcome back, it's great to have you here. Let's analyze Bitcoin. So in the previous videos, first of all, we have been calling a crash from here, from this resistance, because we have been completing double three corrective mode wave pattern, extremely strong resistance as well, and we have been anticipating that we will be testing this support at 1.61 Fibonacci retracement level right here. After that, in the last video, we have been talking about this support right here, and I have told you that before continuation with the highest probability we will have a squeeze to the upside to this resistance. As you can see, we have done exactly that. This was the squeeze, and right now it seems like we are about to continue. However, there might be still a reclaim of this resistance and a new all-time high. So what's higher probability? A continuation towards this support right here in an Elliott wave fashion, or a new all-time high on Bitcoin? Let's analyze in this video. So what are the probabilities that this right now sell pressure that we are experiencing on this and this candle is real, and how can we understand if it's going to be enough substantial for a continuation? So first of all, let's take a look at the cumulative volume delta. We can see clearly that the spot is leading this selling pressure on this candle at least, and this basically tell us that the spot market is selling. This is not selling pressure driven by leverage. This is extremely important to understand, and that's henceforth it's increasing the probabilities of a continuation. Together with that, we can still see that a lot of long positions are still opened in the market. So can we somehow fund this really to the downside? Of course we can, right? Because take a look at this, the long positions that have been opening right here, mostly right here, they are still in the market. Then we have got a huge open positions right here, and also as we have been riding the rally to the upside. So basically loads of long positions are still in their positions. They have liquidation levels below, right? And the market, once we are getting close to their break-even point, they might start to close. Right here already we have seen a great liquidation on this red candle of long positions that have been opening right here at the top, and once we get back to break even of these long positions, they might start panic selling, right? And that basically will put more pressure on Bitcoin. So this is increasing the probabilities that we might ride to the downside more likely than reversal to the upside right now. If we take a look on the short positions, they are still stable. You know that we've been updating that a huge short position opened during this indecision candle. The market makers, the big players that have been entering into these big short positions, hit it very well. They have masked their actions very well, and they are still in there. As you can see, the short positions are creating lower highs together with the higher highs, as the price action is creating lower highs and lower lows. All right, so the short positions are still strong, and they are still in the market, and they are not closing. And right now they are getting support also from the spot exchanges. As you can see, we are creating lower lows, and this big candle, red candle, is suggesting that some big players are selling right now. Open interest is not in extreme numbers, it's increasing slightly, but there is nothing extremely over leveraged on the short side, which is great. Big liquidation event of long positions was just right here. Nothing big for short positions, but that's also because the short positions are not driven by retail. That means we are not in over leveraged position on the short market, but it's by big market players, right? So big players are not using big leverage, and that is why the market currently is saved from a short squeeze. So all of this is increasing the probabilities of a turnover, and if we take a look at some big buy rules, it's going to be better visible right here. The first big one is at $95,000. All right, big buy rule made from some big whales is at $95,000. $8,000, and this is technically very important level as well. We'll be talking about why. Big sell wall is above us at around $110,000. If we take a look at the liquidation, we have got a liquidation of some short positions right here at $108,000. Right now there is not much above us, there is only something at around $111,000, so it's much more juicy below us right now, given that the price action is also much closer to the liquidation levels that are below us. If you take a look on the CVD right here, is the same thing. Basically spot is leading, and on the order suit we can clearly see that during the price action to the upside there was loads of distribution going on. That means more sell limit orders being entering the market and basically being filled than long positions. All right, so loads of distribution is going on during this price action, and the point of control is going to be much lower. Let's take a look right now at the fear and greed index, because you remember in the previous video we have been updating that we are basically at the point 20 on 4-hour time frame, and as you always know, on our website mycryptoparadise.com, the fear and greed index can really help you to understand where is the bottom and where is the top. When we are at number 20 or below it or near number 20, it's usually, if you take a look on Bitcoin and we are at some nice support zone, it's usually working as a nice bottom-end signal. When we are getting close to 80 and we are at some important resistance, it's working as a top-end signal. So we have jumped from 20 to 80, and as you can see, it worked beautifully again, and right now we are in a medium zone on 4-hour time frame. If you take a look on the daily time frame, we are right now touching 60. This is important level as well. It's medium zone, no extremes, but from 1-hour time frame perspective we are sliding down, and it seems like we have more room to go until we touch number 20. So from the medium time frame perspective, which is 4-hour time frame, we still have room to go until we touch the number 20. And also you will understand after we will start analyzing the supports on Bitcoin that the most important support zones are much more below us. So let's right now take a look at the price action. We will begin, however, with Ethereum. I want to share with you what's going on with Ethereum. So on the weekly time frame, I have already updated you in the previous video. We have closed a weekly candle, one weekly candle below the moving average trend line and the descending trend line on weekly time frame as well. And the second weekly candle again got closed below the moving average trend line that previously worked as a support, and right now it's working as a strong resistance. All right, so the probabilities of Ethereum dropping lower is much higher than right now pushing through these resistances, given also that we are in this Elliott wave structure where basically we have completed the advance move to the upside. This is the impulse that we have been forming since April 2025. The impulse is subdividing itself into 5 small waves, as you know from our website mycryptoparadise.com. right here, let me show you 1 2 3 4 5. This is a motive mode wave impulse, and basically it was finished right here at $4,900. 1 2 extended 3, right? Third wave was extended. Third wave is also motive mode wave. That means it subdivided itself into 5 small waves. 1 2 3 4 5. Beautiful. Fourth wave and fifth wave finish right here. 1 2 3 4 5. It's also a motive mode wave. So basically, what does it mean? It means that we have concluded the higher degree first wave, this one, and what's coming next? The secondary wave, which is a corrective mode wave, right? Corrective C, corrective mode wave. That means it subdivides itself into one of these corrective mode wave patterns. We know that secondary waves are deep corrections. That means it retraces at least 50% of the first wave, and so usually the corrective mode deep correction waves are zigzags or some expanded flats or double zigzag, but most often it's zigzag, and we know that in Bitcoin and Ethereum it's usually retraces the secondary wave 61.8% of the first wave. All right, so this was the first wave. Let me put a line right here. This is the first wave, and right now we are doing secondary wave. Ethereum has its 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level right here at $2,700, but if Bitcoin will touch that as well, and we will understand that Bitcoin has its much lower than Ethereum percentage wise right now. Ethereum is much more volatile, so there is a high probability that we will touch the 786 if Bitcoin will be touching 618. All right, for Ethereum the 786 is at around $2,169, and you already know that we are with the highest probability right now trading inside of a zigzag. All right, the zigzag is this ABC corrective mode wave pattern, where the A wave and C waves are motive mode waves and the B wave is a corrective mode wave. Alright, so the A wave I do believe finished right here. It's a motive mode wave, so 5 moves, right? 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. It was a leading diagonal because the fourth wave went into the price territory of the first and secondary wave. And then we have started the B wave. That was the double 3. Same, it was on Bitcoin. This was the 1, 2, 3. This was the double 3, basically ABC or W, X, Y. You can call it whatever. But we have concluded the B wave right here with this shooting star candlestick pattern. This was a bearish sign, another bearish candle because it was a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern. It engulfed the whole body of the previous shooting star candle. So lots of bearish signs. And basically since then we have started the C wave. Alright, the C wave is also a motive mode wave. That means it subdivides itself into 5 small waves. So calculate with me. 1, 2, 3. I've told you in the previous video, this is where with the highest probability the fourth wave will finish, and it seems like we are right now grinding inside of the fifth wave. If the fourth wave was already finished, I do believe that it was an expanded flat. It will be visible on lower time frames, so we'll take a look on Bitcoin. On Bitcoin it's basically pretty much the same thing, and if we will get more confirmations that the fourth wave is right now finished, we will begin the fifth wave. Alright, so there will be plenty of confirmations possible. With Paradise Family VIPs we are strategically positioning ourselves for the next movements. It can be up or down. That's basically how your strategy and trading tactics are giving you the trading signals, right? We are having our own signals. You can have your own signals. This in this video is just an analysis to give you a basic idea from what I'm seeing with the Paradise team in the market right now. It's not for you to be short or long based on these videos. It's just a basic idea. I'm not giving you strategy here. I'm not giving you trading signals. I'm not giving you a trading tactics, how to enter or exit positions. But the basic idea right now is that unless we can reclaim this resistance, we are in the fifth wave. We are starting the fifth wave. Once we have more confirmations, we will start grinding to the downside, and the next supports are at this 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level, as we have been already talking. But the fifth wave might be extended and we can go as low as $2,100. All right, so the basic idea is right now that we are in the fifth wave, and it seems like we will be grinding to the downside back to these support levels, which are very strong supports right here, and very strong support is right here as well. So we will be calculating many things. For example, we will be calculating the subwaves of the fifth wave. That will help us to determine if we will be finishing it or not. Right now we are also waiting for more confirmations that the fourth wave is concluded. Once it is, we will be aggressively looking for short positions. Ladies and gentlemen, let's right now take a look also on the Bitcoin Euro pair. You know that we have not been able to break the previous high that we have made in January 2025. Take a look at this. On the Euro pair, unlike on USDT pair, Bitcoin wasn't being able to create a higher high. The reason is that the euro wasn't as weak as dollar. Alright, we will take a look on dollar in a minute, but first of all I want to share with you that on the Euro pair we are touching again this moving average trend line, this resistance on daily time frame, and this is very bearish because it's right now holding us in this downtrend, and until we can reclaim this moving average trend line, consist out of breakout and retest and to turn this resistance into support, we will not be looking for long positions. All right, and we are still focusing on shorts since here. So let's take a look also on dollar index. Unlike Bitcoin, dollar, as I've told you right here, we are at support. We have on the weekly candle created a bullish hammer candlestick pattern. We are also breaking above this moving average trend line that held us in this downtrend. So basically since January 2025 the dollar lost 12% of its value, and that means that's also why most of the assets and commodities versus dollar like Bitcoin, gold, stocks as well been gaining on so much of a value. It's not really that Bitcoin got like much stronger, as you can see here versus euro. It actually wasn't being able to break break the previous high that we have made in January 2025. The reason why Bitcoin on the USD pair created since January 2025 the higher high is most importantly because the dollar just been getting extremely weaker, and the thing is that right now we believe it might change. We have been talking about this in the previous videos. The double 3 corrective mode wave pattern is finished. We are at a huge support. We have been able to reclaim the moving average trend line, and right now it seems like we are changing the trend from bearish into bullish. So I've told you right here, and we are already up on dollar for around 4%. I've told you I'm very bullish on dollar. Also, we have been getting some bullish confirmations on our oscillators. I've been talking about this exaggerated bullish divergences, the reclaim of the RSI trend line, etc. Right? Let's take a look right now on the USDT dominance. So you need to understand that from the medium, weekly and daily time frame, Bitcoin is right now approaching lots of resistances. I mean, on the weekly time frame, it already approached the major resistance, but on the lower time frames, when we have been approaching, and still we are like close to resistance, all right? And basically on the weekly time frame, if you zoom out, we are basically much closer to resistance than we are to a major support as well. However, dollar is at major support, and USDT dominance is right now on the medium time frame, on 4-hour time frame chart, at very important support zone. We are hovering above 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level. As you can see right now, we are trying to break above the moving average trend line that been holding us in this small downtrend. We are having a bullish divergence where you can see that the bears really been exhausting themselves heavily, all right, and they have not been able to break below the previous low. This is basically a bullish divergence when the price action is creating higher low, but the oscillator, in our case MACD histogram right here, created a lower low that basically tells you this is a huge bullish divergence, all right. The bears been pushing like crazy, right, but they have not been able to break below the previous low. That's what's make this divergence, and usually bulls take over after these kind of signs. We are just waiting for more confirmations. For example, this bullish cross, I want to see a proper reclaim. On the RSI, we are having an early sign that we are already having that cross, and on stochastic RSI, we can clearly see that bulls are getting back in power. There are two legs open and looking upwards. So this is very bullish for USDT, for stable coins in general, and obviously when the USDT dominance is picking up on power, the power is basically flowing, the money are flowing from cryptocurrencies back into stables, and when you can analyze what's going to happen next on the USDT dominance, that basically when you confluence it with other assets like a Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, it basically give you some idea what's probably going to happen next, right? So the continuation on USDT dominance seems like it's going to continue to the upwards towards this next resistance right here, which is going to be bearish for major cryptocurrencies if that's going to happen, right? So right now we are waiting for more confirmations. I want to see a clear reclaim above this moving average trend line, and that will increase the probabilities that we are about to continue towards this resistance, and obviously assets like coins versus USDT will be losing on power. Let's take a look right now on the weekly time frame. You know, all of these bearish divergences, we have exaggerated bearish divergence from, we are building it since March 2024 right here. So this is very bearish, and also we are creating the expanded flat pattern, right, where this was the A wave, B wave, and the C wave might take us towards $44,000 to $55,000. So basically, as Ethereum got it, the Bitcoin has it as well. The impulse was finished right here, and Bitcoin has it a bit different. The structure is a bit different, but the price action is pretty much the same. The A wave was right here, B wave was right here, and the C wave in an expanded flat fashion will finish at around $55,000 to $44,000, where Bitcoin does have the 61.8 retracement, all right? The 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level is sitting exactly at $44,000. This is going to be a big support because it's also a bottom of the fourth wave. So if Bitcoin will drop that low, I do believe that Ethereum will touch that 0.786. So this will be the secondary wave for Bitcoin, and the third wave afterwards will take us towards $240,000. But about that in the next videos. Right now, I just want to share with you that the C wave is subdividing itself into 5 small waves as well, because it's a motive mode wave from that expanded flat, right? As you know from our website, mycryptoparadise.com. Right here, take a look at this. So this is the A wave, B wave in an expanded flat. The B wave goes above the start of the A wave, and the C wave, as you can see, subdivides itself itself into 5 smaller waves. I do believe that we are right now in the first wave. Take a look at this. The first wave might take us towards $88,000. I do believe that we have already finished the first secondary, and right now we are in the third wave. Let's zoom into that third wave. The third wave, I've been updating you about that in the previous video, is right here. Okay, the third wave is also a motive mode wave. That means that it subdivides itself into 5 small waves, and with the highest probability it will take us towards $93,000 to $95,000. There's lots of confluences, for example this 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level, historical price action, important level as well. We have been having that level previously tested as a support, then as a resistance, then as a support as well. Very important level right here, and I believe it's a perfect level for the third wave to finish. Let's take a look how we are moving inside of that third wave. But after the third wave is going to be finished, with the highest probability, until we can break and reclaim this resistance, it will be finished right here at that $93,000, $95,000. So what's gonna happen afterwards is the fourth wave, right? And the fourth wave might get us back towards $107,000. Well, and afterwards we will have the fifth wave, which I don't believe will be truncated, and that will take us towards that $88,000, and that will basically conclude the first wave. And then we will have a secondary wave that might take us very, very high, but we will be talking about that once it's relevant. Right now let's analyze the third wave. So the third wave is trading like this on medium time frame. I have been talking about this resistance on the previous videos. We are having bearish divergence, as you can see, lower high but higher high on the MACD histogram. So this is how the bulls got extremely exhausted. They have been pushing a lot into that resistance, tried to break above the previous high but being unsuccessful. It's mostly because the distribution that been going on right here, right? So lots of big players been distributing on that buy and liquidity, and that's very, very, very bad for bulls. So right now we are trying to have a reversal from that resistance. There was an attempt for a shooting star candlestick pattern. It's a shooting star candlestick pattern, not that big, but obviously we can see from that wick of that candle, take a look at that wick, that who is in power, right? In power are bears. So this is bearish, that bearish divergence. This is confirmed also on RSI. We have also touched overbought area, and if you take a look on the stochastic RSI, two legs are pointing to the downside. So the bears are in power right now, and they might show its aggressiveness very, very soon. So with the highest probability on the 4-hour time frame, we have the confluence of 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level also at $93,000, $95,000. Also, you know that the $95,000 is being secured, right? And I have told you we will get back to it by this big buy wall. So we can actually really assume that $95,000 will be quite strong. It will be quite strong, and it seems like somebody is already planning to buy at $95,000 from the big boys. All right, so let's take a look also on the 1-hour time frame. Here we can analyze the fifth wave. All right, so basically the fifth wave is a motive mode wave. It subdivides itself into 5 small waves as well. So this was the first wave, then a secondary wave, and then right now we have finished actually the third wave. So let me put the number 3 right here. It seems like the third wave was finished right here above that 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level. Well, and in the previous video, why we have been expecting that the Bitcoin will start pumping to the upside was also because of that expanded flat pattern that basically has A and B wave, corrective mode waves, A and B, and the C wave as a motive mode wave, right? So this was ABC, A wave, ABC, B wave, and then a C wave, motive mode wave, where this was the first wave, secondary wave, third wave, fourth wave, and this seems to be like a fifth wave. All right, if we are right now still in a fourth wave, then a fifth wave will be a little bit higher, but I don't believe that it will break above the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level. And obviously a complete invalidation will be if we will break and reclaim the previous high, the secondary wave basically. All right, if that's going to be the case, we will simply be looking in ParadiseFamilyVIP for some nice swing trading, long trading opportunities, right? So right now we believe that the expanded flat might have been finished. finished right here at the top of the first wave. It was a nice wick as we have been presuming from the previous video, and with the highest probability, unless we can reclaim this resistance, the continuation will be towards this support at that $93,000 to $95,000. So be very careful what's going to happen next, ladies and gentlemen. We are really watching the price action very closely. All right, we want to see many confirmations, but right now it seems like we will be having a bit of consolidation. We will get rid of these bullish signs a little bit that we have on some time frames. For example, a small bullish divergence is forming on the MACD histogram, as you can see, lower low but higher low right here, but still it's not for a long position, right? So it seems like we are just trying to reclaim right now the moving average trend line, which seems to be successful already. Actually, take a look at this breakout retest. It seems like we are changing it from support, as it was working right here and right here, into resistance. So again, another thing you can be watching is the moving average trend line. Unless we can reclaim it, there is no early sign that bulls are getting back in power, and it seems like that we are right now starting the fifth wave of the fifth. All right, that will take us towards $93,000 to $95,000. So obviously, some confirmation might be that you might be waiting for a nice 5 moves to the downside that will confirm the first wave of that fifth wave, and then a secondary wave. If it's going to be like a zigzag or some corrective mode wave pattern, it will be beautiful entry with a nice risk to reward, and then a continuation riding in the third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave, right? So that's based on your tactic. That's based on your tactic, based on your strategy. I wish you a great professional trading, ladies and gentlemen. Paradise, so smash the like button if you have enjoyed this video, and I will see you again on Thursday. Cheers.